Good day. This is a brief overview for the Architecture, Conservation and Historic Preservation course, which we are going to offer. I'll just give a brief overview about what is the course about and what we are going to address in this course. Now, when we talk about architectural conservation, we generally think about monuments like Taj Mahal or monuments like Shore Temple of Mahabalipuram or maybe some churches of Goa which are World Heritage Sites. And not only in India, all around the world, also there are monuments, historic monuments like Parthenon in Greece or maybe the pyramids of Egypt or maybe the Great Wall of China. These are all wonder, and people from all over the world come to see these monuments. They wonder at this, that who built them and how to build them. They are all very well preserved. They are important for the mankind, we know them. But when we talk about heritage, these are not only the monuments we talk about. There are also many other structures which may not be that world renowned monuments, but they are very important. For example, let us take the example of our campus in IIT Kharagpur. So, this is a structure which is Shahid Bhavan in IIT Kharagpur. Now, this is something which has a lot of history. At one time, it was the detention camp during the British time when the freedom fighters who fought for our freedom were kept here. It is almost a prison. And there was a lot of incidents which happened there. That is a long story, but at some point of time it changed. During the Second World War, it became an Air Force base, and there is a rumor that there were some fight was going on. The Air Force flies and American Air Force base was there from 1944 to 1945. And this is the place actually was not built for jail or was not built for an Air Force base. Its history goes back much before that. In 1917, where Lord Curzon tried to divide the Midnapur district into two parts, Hijli and Midnapur, this particular building was perceived or conceived as the collectorate building. But there was a lot of protest against that, and ultimately the plan was abandoned, and the building was lying like that, and where that detention camp started. So, it goes back to that time. And this building, which was to be a collectorate, which was a detention camp and which was the Air Force base, is where the first IIT, that because after independence there was an IIT system, and the first IIT of India, the IIT Kharagpur, was inaugurated in this Hijli detention camp in the same very building, and we started a great journey from that. And then now it is a campus, a huge campus, a world renowned campus where a lot of students come and stay there. But what happened to that building? That building actually is now a science museum. So, what we see from here, this particular case, that when we talk about heritage, it is not only the structures, it has about a history. It is a link between the past, present and future, and what happened, what are the incidents, who were involved with that, and how it evolved, and that actually talks about the value and the heritage of this buildings or these structures. But always we do not talk about only monuments. For example, there are structures, as we can see here, the Rush Manchu in West Midnapur, which is abandoned in a very bad state, or there are some structures which are very well preserved, like Kuch Bihar Residence, which is a school now, a very well renowned school, which is entirely of a different style. And when we talk about heritage, it is not only the structures, monuments and other things, it is also about the people. Like this Patchitra of Pingla, they also continue, they also bear our heritage, they have a craft, they are artisans, and they also talk about something, living heritage, what we call them. They are the tangible heritage and intangible heritage. And not only in India, not only in Midnapur or West Bengal, all over the world we see various many other structures like that. For example, the cities, old cities are there, like this is in Krakow in Poland, or the atomic bomb where actually it happened during in Hiroshima, or there may be certain small villages of wooden structures like Finland. All of these are World Heritage Sites which are very important for the mankind. And this is what is heritage about talk about. So, in this course actually when we talk about not only the monuments, we talk about so many other structure, the street, people, heritage, the value, the craft, the significance. A lot of question comes to our mind that what are this question that should we preserve everything that is an old structure? How old? 100 years, 200 years? What is the cut-off line? And why should we preserve them? What is the value? And should we preserve everything? How to make the decision? How to decide about what is the value and the significance? Are there any benchmarks for that? And even if you think about preserving some of these structures, not only the monuments, everyday structure, then what will be the use of this structure? Do they have any use? Not everything can be converted into a museum or memorial. So, can we use them? So, these are some of the questions which we like to address in this course. Also, we said that if we have to preserve a structure, what should be done to this structure? Who are the people who take care of them? Architects, engineers, archaeologists. Actually, it's a multidisciplinary team because it takes historians, it takes a discipline input from all of them, their expertise, their knowledge. And that brings us to the question of what are the methods, what is restoration, what is conservation, what we call the adaptive reuse. There are many methods of preserving or taking care of our old structure, old cities, old cultural heritage. And also it comes to mind, if there is an old structure, can we make some changes to them if we have to use for the present time? So, that brings us to the concept of integrating conservation and development, how to link the past with our present and keep it that for the future generation, the legacy what we have inherited from our forefathers. So, we will talk about that in that integrating conservation with development. We will also talk about the opportunities it offer, the economic parameters of that, and how, what will be the community, because people are very important. We are not only talking about the only the structures, and also how we manage them, how we present the heritage structures to the future generation. So, in this course, we will talk about this history, we will share about the case studies from India, from local areas, from all over the world. We can see what we can learn from them, how the people have done to preserve their legacy, how to make them meaningful, what is the role they have in our present life, and also how do we keep up the future generation. So, this is all what we will talk about this course. Thank you.